Before we begin, a quick note. This podcast is a space for storytelling, shared experiences, and community. The views shared are personal and not medical, legal, or professional advice. If you're navigating a situation that requires professional support, please seek guidance from a qualified expert. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and most importantly, take care of yourself. Welcome to Who Cares About Me? This podcast exists to create space for caregivers to tell their stories, the good, the hard, and the complicated. There's no judgment here, no right way to do this. Just real experiences, reflection, and connection. Each episode features a small group of caregivers sharing what this role has looked like for them. Because caregiving is not one size fits all. If you've ever found yourself caring for a parent or grandparent and quietly wondering, who's taking care of me? Who cares about me? You're in the right place. This is Who Cares About Me, a podcast created to center the voices of parental caregivers. In part 3, I wanted to focus on moving beyond how to care and into how to live with caregiving. Acceptance can often be misunderstood as giving up or resigning yourself to the situation. In reality, it's about stopping the fight against reality so you can focus your energy on what matters most. I've moved from the why me phase to the how do I continue to move forward phase. I've made the quiet realization that this is my reality, and while I didn't choose it, I choose how I show up within it. I'm your host, Jackee de Lagarde, a wife, mother, an executive in the fashion industry, and the primary caregiver to my 82-year-old mom who's living with PSP, a rare degenerative disease. Like so many people, I didn't step into this role intentionally. It found me. This is Who Cares About Me, and this is part 3 of why this podcast exists. And today, I'm discussing what I've accepted, what parts came easy, and what has and still is challenging. Part 3, what I've accepted. Now, in part 2, I discussed what this podcast journey is teaching me while I continue being a caregiver. In part 3, I wanted to move beyond the how to care and into the how to live with caregiving through acceptance, which is often misunderstood as giving up or resigning yourself to the situation. I realized it's about stopping the fight against reality so you can focus your energy on what matters most. I recently got to a point in my caregiving journey where I realized I've spent months, maybe years, wishing things were different. That's natural, right? Wishing my mom wasn't sick, wishing we had more time with her, wishing we could do more for her. It was hard. I think knowing there was nothing we could do to get her better triggered anticipatory grief early on. I was loving on her, caring for her, putting everything on hold for her, all while grieving her, knowing this disease was not cut and dry. It was going to take us on a roller coaster of emotions for a period of time you can't predict. Now, she's still physically here, but pieces of her have disappeared over time. Her mobility, her functions, her voice, her personality. I was also wishing my family and I had more freedom. Wishing it didn't get harder and harder. Wishing people in my life would show up the way I would. Wishing I could afford to do more. But you know what? Probably 2 years ago, I stopped wishing for my old life back and for all these things to get easier and finally accepted my role and that I can't go backwards. I can't expect my family and my friends to support me the way I would support them or want to be supported. It's just full steam ahead. Now, I know it sounds like defeat or that I'm losing hope, but I'm simply accepting and acknowledging what is true right now, that there is still hope for some of these wishes. I can still advocate and fight for the best possible care for my mom. And the energy I spent wishing this wasn't happening became the energy I could finally spend loving my mom in the moment. We hear a lot about the caregiver role and the fact that no one wakes up and decides, yeah, I think I'm going to upend my life, interrupt my career, tap into my retirement savings, and take care of someone else in the prime of my life. Look, this doesn't mean my future won't be meaningful. It just simply won't look like what I imagined. It'll just be a different kind of life. I've also accepted that trying to control what happens to my mom dealing with a degenerative disease is an absolute illusion. I've found no matter what I plan, research, buy, update in my home, or fix, something will always throw you for a loop. New symptoms you weren't ready for, your caregiving staff showing up late or leaving altogether, new costs to accommodate equipment, and of course, symptoms. But eventually, I learned that I'm not perfect. And what I can actually keep within my control are my responses, my patience, my presence, and my identity. That identity shift is difficult. But what is amazing about all of this is how my new identity helped me find my community and this podcast. Now, here are a couple questions to ask yourself. What part of caregiving are you still resisting? What expectations are you carrying that no longer serve you? Where could acceptance make room for peace? What have you learned about yourself because of caregiving? What part of your old identity have you released? What new strengths have you discovered? For me, I'm not resisting much these days, but the one thing I resisted recently was taking time for myself. As far as expectations, I've slowly realized that I can't expect family and friends to show up for me and my family the way I would for them. I've also let go of the anger I've held onto around these expectations. This has led me to a lot more peace in my day-to-day. What I've learned about myself is that I can't do it all, and it's okay to delegate, even knowing the outcome may not be perfect. Now, the part of my old identity that I've released is to show up as the strong one, the one that can do and handle anything. It's okay for things to be hard and to feel emotion behind those difficulties. My strength is letting things go and accepting it all. This podcast is for the caregivers, the ones showing up every day, the ones doing their best without a roadmap. This season of Who Cares About Me has been filled with some incredible stories so far, and we got so many more to share. Every other Tuesday, you're going to hear from some really dynamic, altruistic, special people who are living this caregiver life in different ways, taking care of mothers, fathers, grandparents, aunts and uncles, and more, on top of the numerous responsibilities they have in their day-to-day life, all while silently asking, who's taking care of me? Who cares about me? Stay tuned for part 4 of my story later in the season, where I'll share how unforeseen changes forced me to reimagine my life and what is truly important. In the meantime, check out our latest episodes available now on all major streaming services. Thank you everyone for listening. Take care. You can listen and subscribe to Who Cares About Me wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to follow, connect with us, check out resources, or share your story, head to Who Cares About Me on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, subscribe on Substack and YouTube, and like, or visit whocaresaboutmepodcast.com. Who Cares About Me is hosted and produced by me, Jackee de Lagarde. Clarence Steele is our editor and producer, and also created our theme music, and graphics created by Jonathan de Lagarde of Hollis Arts, LLC.